Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the audio lab. Throughout this month of July, I've been running a little experiment. I know so many of you love to listen to your books. And since I'm getting ready to eventually record and publish the official audio book for Brown Beyond Borders, Emerging into Golden Multidimensionality, I wanted to practice out loud with you first. So every single day this month, I'm pulling up a chair, reading a few pages of my memoir right here. And if you're on the free list, these daily drops will stay open for just a few days before they head into the archives for my paid subscribers. So make sure you keep up. If you ever miss a session or you want to unlock the whole archive to listen at your own pace, you can upgrade to a paid subscription at any time. And here's a little hint. Even if you subscribe to just the monthly level, you will get a free ebook. So you can follow along with your ebook, and then you can end your subscription after a month. Anyway, today we are jumping into chapter 14, which again was erroneously numbered 13 because of my little chapter mistake earlier. And that is called From Brown. Oops, there we go. From Brown to Golden. So that's where we're starting. We're reading sort of a good chunk here, and we are rapidly nearing the end of this book. So yeah, stay with us. Chapter 14, From Brown to Golden. From unraveling the complexities of identity in part 1 to embracing the freedom to be our true selves in part 4, we've journeyed through the heart of what it means to be a brown woman beyond borders. The journey to freedom, as I discovered, is not a straight path. It's curly and sometimes even tangled. You might even ask yourself, haven't I been through this before? Haven't I learned my lesson? I thought I already worked through my issues. It's a journey paved with self discovery, resilience, and the reclamation of one's narrative. In part 1, we explored the diverse and shared experiences that bind us as US educated brown women from immigrant families. We looked into the complexities of identity formation, navigating cultural expectations, and the impact of intersectionality. Through personal narratives and reflections, we gained a multifaceted understanding of ourselves, recognizing the strength and beauty in our diversity. Part 2 transported us back to the early days of my journey, where I grappled with the concept of being a guest in the land of the free. We examined the historical and social context of the immigrant experience in America, acknowledging the systemic racism and inequalities that have shaped our lives. We confronted the harsh realities of prejudice and discrimination, understanding how these experiences can impact our sense of belonging and self worth. Yet within these challenges, we also discovered the seeds of resilience and the unwavering spirit that resides within us. In these early chapters, we explored the concept of knowing our place in a society that often seeks to define us by our differences. We confronted the unspoken rules and expectations that can limit our opportunities and aspirations. We examined the impact of intergenerational trauma and how it can shape our beliefs and behaviors. But we also discovered the power of challenging these limitations and forging our paths, defying expectations, and embracing our unique identities. Things got really gnarly in these opening chapters. We got ensnared in systemic racism, intergenerational trauma, and cultural conflicts. We examined the historical legacy of slavery and segregation, recognizing how these injustices continue to impact our lives today. We navigated challenging cultural expectations and familial pressures, acknowledging the unique burdens placed upon young immigrant women. Yet within these struggles, we also found the strength to persevere, to draw upon our cultural heritage as a source of resilience, and to advocate for ourselves and our communities. Reflecting on our cultural backgrounds and traditions, recognizing how they have shaped our values, beliefs, and behaviors, we question the narrow confines of the American dream, acknowledging that its promises do not apply equally to those who exist outside the dominant ethnic, social, political, and economic cultures of the United States. We explored the complexities of biculturalism, celebrating the richness and complexity of navigating multiple cultural identities, while also acknowledging the unique challenges that come with it. And we began to envision a future free from limitations where success and belonging are defined on our own terms. Other chapters were calls to action, urging you to step outside the prescribed path and to redefine what the dream truly means for you and dare to tailor your own soul's vision, where your success reflects the unique and authentic expression of your unlimited golden multidimensional potential. Embodying your soul's vision marked a pivotal moment in our journey. We embrace the concept of freedom no matter where you are, a freedom that transcends physical location and societal constraints. It's a freedom rooted in the profound realization that belonging can be found in the most unexpected places, even within communities that may seem different from our own. We discovered the transformative power of building bridges through open, two-way communication and heart-led dialogue. And we saw firsthand how our unique experiences as women of color, with the near magical ability to code switch across multiple cultural identities, have equipped us with the invaluable ability to connect with people from diverse backgrounds. This chapter highlights that we possess more than just resilience in the face of challenges. We have the innate capacity to hold space for diverse perspectives. We can foster understanding and empathy even in the most politically charged discussions. This ability allows us to transform challenges into new realities, transcending prejudices and limiting beliefs to create spaces where everyone feels a sense of belonging and can thrive. We learn that the true essence of freedom lies in embracing our authentic selves, celebrating our differences, and fostering connections that empower us to break free from the limitations imposed upon us. It's about recognizing we are not merely survivors, but catalysts for change, capable of shaping a more inclusive and equitable world for ourselves and future generations. And now, as we transition into the final part, we stand at the threshold of a new beginning. We have journeyed through the complexities of our experiences, confronted the challenges, and discovered the strength and resilience that reside within us. It is time to embrace our power, shape our future, and step boldly into the world as the confident, empowered women we were always meant to be. The journey continues, and the possibilities are limitless. Pausing to take stock of the moment, to look around and within myself, I feel a sense of satisfaction and happiness. I am sitting at my desk in an apartment that I can honestly call home. Even though we've only lived here for less than a year, this home office is my personal space. During the week, I report to work virtually from the comfort of my own space designed by me. After hours, I connect with friends and family through WhatsApp and Zoom. There's a corner reserved for candles, crystals, and my collection of New Age materials, which I use for my spiritual explorations. There is also an armchair in here, which I have used primarily for my morning meditations. It's perched by a window that overlooks a large hill or small mountain behind our home in the village town where my husband and I now reside. Today also happens to be payday. So my bank account feels particularly abundant. I am earning the largest salary I have ever earned since I first entered the workforce decades ago. And today my earnings are aligned with the effort and value I put out. Indeed, I am satisfied. Yesterday, I spent nearly 2 hours on a call with a work colleague I now consider a friend or chosen family. Like me, she was born in the Caribbean, grew up in the United States, and identifies as biracial. For the rest of the day, I move through my day as if in a cloud with the comfort and confidence of being seen into your very soul. There's the satisfaction of a broader connection, too. A few months ago, a young professional approached me for professional coaching. She had grown up in New York City, the child of Caribbean immigrants. She now found herself in Geneva, Switzerland, trying to carve out a professional path that would honor her numerous interests and talents. Multilingual, analytical, and creative, She felt stifled in her one track career, and she entrusted me with coaching her into a new trajectory. In only 4 months, she had negotiated her way into the city of her dreams and a job that could expand with her passion. She now feels like she's back on track, back where she belongs. This is what love feels like, I reflected while sitting in the dining room diagonally across from my husband during lunch, immediately following the call with my friend. My husband and I ate in silence, the peaceful silence of two people who have known each other across lifetimes and who don't need to fill up silence with chatter. This is authenticity. Authentic and authenticity were words I ruminated over quite a bit in my younger years. While I knew what the words meant, I was never really sure whether I was successful at being authentic, being true to who I am consistently. At the same time, it seemed that the measure of authenticity, whatever that was constantly shifting, depending on the zeitgeist as well as the demands of that particular phase of my life. But it was something that I wanted to achieve, a solid basis of knowing who I amness as I move through life. Looking back, the interplay between authenticity and freedom has been a constant presence throughout my journey. Today, it's evident that the two must appear on each side of an equation. Every time I prioritized freedom, the authentic expression of my identity would also emerge. It's no secret I have described my job as a strategic writer for a professional services firm as my dream job. This will likely raise eyebrows among my colleagues, possibly in disbelief or doubt, as the job has its shortcomings. The role involves a lot of, sorry, the role involves writing a lot of copy on very tight deadlines. Much of the writing is technical. Sometimes the writing is demanded from individuals who want the writing to be sexier or better, but don't know in what way. Oftentimes, the writing is for teams that believe our roles could be easily replaced by artificial intelligence tomorrow. But all of these shortcomings are temporary. What remains is I genuinely enjoy the act and art of writing. That is, the journey of moving from blank page to a winning pitch, the craft of creating order from a jumble of thoughts, a plan, meaning, and purpose from a vague hope for improvement. The process involves learning about various industries, markets, trends, and human dynamics, and creating a narrative that resonates with the leaders in our firm who must communicate their convictions to client decision makers. It involves being adaptable, leaning into my awareness of cultural differences, and molding the messages in ways that will connect with readers. It's the journey that turns me on. I enjoy interviewing experts across a wide range of topics to learn how their digital solutions can enhance clients' businesses. I witness firsthand how my voice and expertise contribute to the firm's success. I have the privilege of continuously developing a skill that requires listening, learning, and innovation through creative expression. As someone who has long held on to the know your place mentality of my childhood, the near daily confirmation that my unique perspective brings value to the job helps me shed my fears about misbehaving. I can practically feel the unfolding of my golden multidimensional potential in the here and now. Championing our team's inclusive leadership and purpose initiative has also boosted my confidence. This initiative has been one of many turning points in my transformation from brown to golden. Picking up the torch to lead the Inclusive Leaders Talk podcast was an act to defy the old limiting belief that I needed to stay in my corner. Approaching senior leaders of the corporation to invite them to speak to our team and stepping in front of the camera to interview them and facilitate tough discussions on diversity and inclusion forced me to stretch the boundaries of my comfort zone. At first, it was terrifying, and sometimes it still makes me nervous. But with each episode, my confidence grew. The old know your place mentality would urge me to shrink myself out of view. That would urge me to shrink myself out of view has morphed into this is my place, claiming of presence. This is not about conceit. This is about calm confidence. It's the freedom of doing something or saying something that opens the way for you to explore and express your true feelings, thoughts, and opinions to allow your brilliance to shine through. At the same time, the Inclusive Leaders Talk internal podcast challenges me to practice skills I picked up in my earlier years in communications, while also pushing me ever farther beyond my comfort zone. When you're not constantly battling internal conflict or trying to be someone you're not, there is a sense of inner peace and liberation. That is, you have released the need for external validation and you're free to live according to your own values. The freedom to explore the multidimensionality of your thoughts by taking your thinking farther than you have never taken it before is a precursor to confidence. I have no doubt that I do a good job in this role, which also helps boost my confidence. However, a confidence boost only goes so far. It's what the initiative draws out of me, a curiosity and interest in where my learnings will take me next, that together lead to a deeper, richer understanding of who I am. Authenticity assumes a deeper, more meaningful hue when you're free to explore and express who you truly are. The work of championing the Inclusive Leadership and Purpose Initiative is personally fulfilling to me because it aligns with my passions for diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as creating a more inclusive workplace. It also presents me with pathways that consistently capture my attention. The podcast has attracted a handful of team members who are also interested in diversity, equity, and inclusion topics, and they regularly challenge me on the types of questions I could pose to our guests. This may sound like a small thing, but the conversations we have in preparing for an interview help create richer discussions with guests, and they also have resulted in higher quality productions. At the end of my first year leading this initiative, we assembled a team of at least 10 members to help produce a live on set interview. We were a diverse crew from 5 continents, working remotely across 4 borders, speaking at least 7 languages, and bringing a wide range of talent to the program. The show is about Greece being the first Orthodox nation to pass a same sex marriage bill into law in February 2024, and how one of our Greek team members lobbied Greek parliamentarians and helped advocate for the LGBTQ plus community in Greece. I didn't lead this interview. Instead, our team's leader had the pleasure of holding this vital conversation, demonstrating how she prioritizes DEI for our team. Once the show was over, everyone was feeling high. The quality of the production was the highest yet, with an illustrated video package at the top of the show, narrated in the guest's voice, and a multi camera shoot during the live interview for visual interest. It was the best Inclusive Leaders Talk episode our team had produced. We capped off our first season with an excellent show, and it wouldn't have been possible without the power of our collective action, where each of us brought our diverse perspectives, talents, and lived experiences on this human rights topic. The bigger takeaway for me was this: bringing more people to help with what we lovingly called our season finale was an entirely painless experience. It was an absolute joy. And when I first started working on the Inclusive Leadership and Purpose Initiative, it was a one woman effort led by another colleague of mixed heritage who was living in Europe at the time. We joined together, inspired by our simultaneously different yet similar lived experiences, and coordinated a year's worth of monthly interviews. We knew we needed to elevate the discourse on diversity, equity, and inclusion for an audience of team members who have the luxury of not regularly confronting injustices and prejudices. Our seamless collaboration as a 2 woman team and our shared vision for the podcast's success shone through our very first few episodes, attracting 2 more volunteers to help with coordination. What resulted were richer conversations leading up to each episode's airing, enriching the content and yielding thought provoking questions that ensured the interviews were insightful and impactful. Our vision for future episodes is to bring together a greater diversity of voices and perspectives. My wish is that the podcast embodies the power of diversity and collective action, working hand in hand to drive positive change and promote inclusivity through collaboration. That is where I'm going to be stopping for today. It does not fully close out chapter 14, but there is sort of a smaller segment that I want to save for tomorrow. So, if you have a question about the book, the writing process, or anything we covered in today's segment, drop it in the comments of this post, and I might just answer yours on a future episode. I'm really glad I get to share this unedited process with you. Look out for the next pages in your inbox tomorrow morning. And if you know someone who would connect with this part of the journey, please share this post with them while it's still open to the public. And if you want to support this audio experiment and my writing as I start drafting book 2, consider becoming a paid subscriber to unlock everything. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.